Welcome to the Sports Down Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. No politics, no drama, no arguing. Just two guys talking sports. I'm your host, JJ Peters, and my co-host is Michael Menser. Michael's not here today, but he will join the pod sometime in February. Michael is the host of the YouTube gaming channel Angry Turtles. Go check him out on YouTube, subscribe, comment, and leave a like. Now remember, this is our last episode on Friday. After this week, we'll be exclusively releasing podcast episodes on Wednesday. Today in the pod, we'll talk about UFC 258 preview, NFL Championship weekend, golf talk, and much more. And now it's time for a sports update. Michael Brantley is returned to the Houston Astros on a 2-year, $33 million deal. Brantley originally was going to sign with the Blue Jays, according to multiple reports. However, he never reached an agreement with Toronto. His former teammate George Springer signed with the Blue Jays on Tuesday, and it was first reported that the Astros left fielder and designated hitter was going to join him. Both Springer and Brantley shared the same agent. Number 23 for the Astros, which is Michael Brantley, had played with Cleveland and Houston before signing with the 2017 World Series champs in 2019. His best season was in 2014 when he finished third in the MVP voting. He is a three-time All-Star and has won the Silver Slugger Award once. The news was first reported by ESPN's Buster Olney. The Super Bowl 54 MVP will play this weekend versus the Bills in the AFC Championship game. Mahomes has officially cleared concussion protocol. The 2018 league MVP left in the AFC divisional round game versus the Browns after getting hit while trying to get a first down. He was officially ruled out for the rest of the game. The Chiefs did hold on to beat the Browns 22-17 thanks to a 13-yard scramble and a completion by veteran quarterback Chad Henne. If Mahomes would have not played this Sunday, Henne would have gotten the start for the Super Bowl champions. Mahomes said at his press conference on Friday that he had clear concussion protocols and was good to go versus Buffalo on Sunday. Head coach Andy Reid told reporters that Mahomes had to be cleared by an independent doctor before he could get a diagnosis on whether he could play or not. The Chiefs play the Bills on Sunday night at 6:40 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Derek Cope will race at Daytona this February. Cope will become the third oldest driver in Daytona 500 history. He will race for Rick Ware Racing, driving the number 15 Chevrolet Camaro. The 62-year-old from California won the Daytona 500 in 1990. That same year, he won at Dover. He hasn't won a race since then. The last time he competed in the Cup race was in 2018, at the Bojangles Southern 500, where he finished 33rd. This will be Cope's last race at Daytona. The Great American Race will take place on February 14th, 2021. Fox will broadcast the event like always, and the race will begin at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. The Washington football team has hired Martin Mayhew as their new GM. Former Panthers GM Marty Hurney will not take over as the GM as expected. Instead, he will be executive vice president of football personnel. Mayhew was a former player and helped Washington win Super Bowl 26 in 1991. After football, he became the director of football administrations for the XFL in 2000. The former player then joined the Lions in 2001 and was there till 2015. Martin Mayhew became the Lions GM in 2008, and was there till 2015. He guided the Lions to 2 playoff appearances and was famous for drafting quarterback Matt Stafford in 2009. There he hired Jim Schwartz, then fired him, and then hired Jim Caldwell. After being let go by the Lions in 2015, he joined the 49ers as team executive and VP of player personnel. He will join Brad Holmes and Terry Fontenot as the minority GMs to be hired in 2021. He will only have to report to head coach Ron Rivera. The former home run leader in the MLB, Hank Aaron, has passed away on Thursday, January 22nd, at the age of 86, according to his family. Aaron played for the MLB from 1954 to 1976. He played for the Braves and Brewers. He was a 25-time All-Star, League MVP in 1957, World Series champion, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, and 2-time batting champion. He also led the league in RBIs and homers 4 times. His jersey 44 is retired by both the Brewers and Braves. The 1957 League MVP also played in the Negro League in 1952 with the Indianapolis Crowns. In 1974, he broke the home run record in a career that stood until 2007. Aaron finished with 755 homers when he finished his storied career. The news was first reported by CBS 46 in Atlanta. Ted Thompson, the former GM of the Green Bay Packers from 2005 to 2017, has passed away at the age of 68 on Wednesday night. Thompson was most famous for drafting Aaron Rodgers in 2005 and trading away Brett Favre in 2008. Thompson was the vice president of football operations with the Seahawks from 1999 to 2005. Thompson was then hired in 2005 as the Packers GM and was there till 2017. He stepped down and became an advisor in 2018. He was inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame. Many Green Bay Packers players, such as Aaron Rodgers, sent their condolences to the Ted Thompson family. He will be greatly missed by the Packers organization. The Philadelphia Eagles have hired their next head coach. The Eagles have hired Indianapolis offensive coordinator Nick Sirianni. Sirianni has been the Colts offensive coordinator for the last 3 seasons. Before that, he was quality control coach, wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach, OC, and now he's the head coach for Philly. The Eagles fired Doug Peterson after 5 seasons, despite the former Chiefs offensive coordinator winning the franchise's only Super Bowl in 2018. Indianapolis head coach Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl and had a great relationship with Carson Wentz. Many analysts are believing that the Eagles hired the Colts offensive coordinator because of quarterback Carson Wentz. The Eagles struggled last year and finished 4-11-1. During the season, the Eagles benched Carson Wentz and replaced him in favor of second-round rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts. It seems like the Eagles want to keep the former number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Carson Wentz. And last but not least, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed quarterback Dwayne Haskins to a 1-year contract. Haskins was cut by Washington in December after losing to the Carolina Panthers in Week 16. According to multiple sources, Haskins will be Roethlisberger's backup if Big Ben comes back and doesn't retire. The former Ohio State product was drafted by the football team in the 2019 NFL Draft with the 15th overall pick. Even though then head coach John Gruden did not want to draft him because of some character issues. Owner Dan Snyder wanted to draft Haskins and also knew him because he went to the same high school as his son. In his rookie season, he did not play much. However, because of injuries to other quarterbacks, Washington had no choice. The 23-year-old was fined twice last year and had his captain role stripped. Eventually, head coach Ron Rivera decided to release the former first-round pick. In his career, he has thrown 12 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 2,804 yards, and a 60.1 completion rating. Haskins will replace Josh Dobbs, who is a free agent, and Dalvin Hodges is likely gone. Dwayne Haskins has the same agent as Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. The third PGA tournament of the calendar 2021 year is this week. The event is played at PGA West's private clubhouse and golf course in California. There are many big names that include Scotty Scheffler, Abraham Ancer, Jason Walker, C.T. Pan, Zach Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Keegan Bradley, Phil Mickelson, Brent Snedeker, Ricky Fowler, Cameron Davis, Jason Duffner, and Tony Finau. I will give you all the action on the PGA Tour for day 2. The leaderboard currently is led by Sung J M. The rest is Siwoo Kim, Nick Taylor, Tony Finau, Sam Ryder, Brandon Hagee, and Max Homa. Now remember, this recording was done before the end of round number 2. Who could be the dark horse to win the event this week? Well, I know people kind of know who he is, but I don't think a lot of people are talking about him right now, and that's Abraham Ancer, the young 29-year-old from Mexico, very good golfer. There's a good chance he wins. Currently, he's at 6 under par, or he's actually at 8 under par, tied for 8th place right now. I could see him winning. Not a lot of people are talking about him. I like the way he golfs. We'll see what happens in Saturday and Sunday because it can be completely different. But I think he's the dark horse to win the event right now. Who has shocked you so far? Well, at one time he led Brandon Hagee. After round number 1, I believe he had 8 under par. He's he's cooled since then. But there's a very good chance he wins. And to be honest with you, I didn't really know much about the guy until this tournament. So I'm very shocked by how impressive he's been. And there is a good chance he could win as well. But yes, Brandon Hagee has shocked me, been the biggest shock to me so far. Who has been disappointing so far? Well, there's been a lot of like Ricky Fowler, Phil Mickelson, Jason Duffner. Zach Johnson hasn't been very impressive. But I would probably go ahead and say Kevin Na just because he won last week, and I thought he could bring that momentum to this week, and that's certainly not been the case. At one time, he was 2 under par, or I think he was 2 over par and tied for 132nd, so he's likely going to miss the cut. So such a disappointment after winning last week. We'll see what happens when he goes next week, but he just won this. He just won last week, and it's been disappointing to see him drop so far. Can someone come out of the top 20 to win? Absolutely. I mean, the top 29 are only 5 shots down from the lead, so there's a good chance they could win. Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, this has been a very high scoring event, and I think whoever could win could probably get could get under 20 par after this whole thing is over. So, I mean, it's been very impressive. I absolutely think someone can come out of the top 20 to win. And last but not least, what golfer do you predict to win this tourney? Well, on Thursday, and when I did the audio version of this, just the audio, I said that Cameron Davis would win, and he was tied for 8th. Currently, right now, he's cooled off a little bit. He's only at 8 under par. There's still a chance for him to win. But again, he wasn't super impressive on Friday in round number 2. So that kind of scares me a little bit, but I'm still going to stick with my guy, Cameron Davis. I remember he had a great, he played very well at the Masters, actually almost had a chance to win, but Dustin Johnson was killing it at the time. So there wasn't really a shot, but he did have somewhat of a chance. But I do like Cameron Davis. I'm still predicting him to win, even though I'm a little more nervous after round number 2. Well, he's back. The most polarizing athlete in UFC history is back in the octagon on Saturday night. 5th ranked lightweight and former champion Conor McGregor will take on the 2nd ranked Dustin Poirier for UFC 258. This will be the first fight for Conor McGregor since early 2020 when he knocked out Cowboy Donald Cerrone in less than 1 minute. This will be Dustin Poirier, aka the Diamond's first fight since June when he defeated Dan Hooker in unanimous decision. All I can say is this is going to be a great fight, and I can't wait to watch it. The main card for UFC 258 will start at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus, and they are fighting at Fight Island. If McGregor wins, does he get a knockout, and how many rounds? I think McGregor does win this fight, and I think he gets a knockout within 2 rounds. I don't think he knocks out Poirier in 1 round, and I certainly don't think he beats him in, 47 to 48 seconds or less than a minute. I think Dustin Poirier does pretty well after the first round, but by the second round, McGregor just releases hell, and I think McGregor is going to end up winning. He definitely wants to fight more than once this year, so I think if he gets a win, he should be able to fight for the belt, which is actually my next question. But I think McGregor is going to win this, and I think he's going to win in 2 rounds. But that's not to say Dustin Poirier isn't a good fighter. He's very good, but Conor McGregor is he's just on a different level, and I think McGregor is, he's probably the second best lightweight fighter, only behind Khabib Nurmagomedov. Which actually, the next question is, can Dustin Poirier keep up with Conor McGregor? I don't think he can. And again, that's not a slight on Dustin Poirier, aka the Diamond, but it's Conor McGregor he's fighting. McGregor is he's the most polarizing athlete in UFC history. He makes the most money for the UFC. He's just such a good fighter, and he's just on a different level than everybody else, except for Khabib Nurmagomedov. So I just don't think Dustin Poirier can keep up with Conor McGregor. It's just McGregor is just on a different level. I mean, that's all I can really say. If McGregor or Poirier wins, do they get a chance to fight for the vacant belt in the lightweight division next? I think they should. A lot of people were kind of shocked that this wasn't for the belt. And I think if they end up, whoever wins will probably end up fighting Justin Gaethje for the vacant belt in probably like June or July or something like that, unless Khabib Nurmagomedov wants to fight again, which it doesn't look like he wants to because he had a meeting with Dana White, the president of UFC, and Nurmagomedov doesn't seem like he wants to fight, at least for now. He retired after beating Justin Gaethje in October for UFC 254 by submission. So, but I think if McGregor does win, of course, I think Dana White wants to schedule another Nurmagomedov versus McGregor. But if that doesn't happen, then I think McGregor or Poirier versus Gaethje would make the most sense for the vacant belt. Will this card be one of the most electric fights in the UFC for a while? Well, at least in 2020 it will be, because whenever Conor McGregor steps into the octagon, people are going to watch, even if they're not the casual UFC fighter, if they don't normally watch UFC fights. So McGregor definitely makes the most money for them. This will probably sell more than UFC 249 just because it's got McGregor on it. I can't wait to watch the fight, and I think this is going to be electric. Can Poirier win and how? Well, he's got to be able to go the distance with McGregor. He can't let McGregor control this fight. He needs to control this fight, and he can't get knocked out, or he can't let McGregor get the first punch. He's got to do everything he can to stay with McGregor and at least last 3 rounds, because I think if he lasts 3 rounds and McGregor starts getting tired, there's a good chance Poirier can win, but it's going to be hard. He just needs to be able to go the distance pretty much and not get tired after round 1. And predictions for the fight. Well, I've already kind of said it, but I think McGregor wins this in 2 rounds. He gets a knockout. And again, that's no slight on Dustin Poirier. It's just Conor McGregor is on a different level. And I believe McGregor is the second best fighter, only behind Habib Nurmagomedov in the lightweight division. So I think McGregor wins by knockout in 2 rounds. Let's get an update on all the scores on Thursday night in the NHL. There were a few games, and we'll begin right now. The Bruins beat the Flyers in the shootout 5-4. The Islanders had no problems with the Devils and won 4-1. The Lightning edged out the Blue Jackets with a 3-2 win in overtime. The Jets took down the Senators 4-1. The Canadiens roughed up the Canucks with a 7-3 win, and the Kings upset the Avalanche 4-2. The top 5 teams in the NHL right now are the Golden Knights, the Canadiens, the Flyers, the Lightning, and the Islanders. As of now, Vegas has the Avalanche as the best odds to win the Stanley Cup, followed by the Golden Knights, the Lightning, the Bruins, and the Maple Leafs. It's championship week in the NFL. The AFC and NFC championship game will be played on Sunday, CBS and Fox. It starts off with the NFC championship game as Tom Brady, the 6-time Super Bowl champion, travels to legendary Lambeau Field to take on Aaron Rodgers for the NFC championship game that will be played on Fox. Then Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs square off against the Buffalo Bills for the AFC Championship game played on CBS. It seems like the Packers and Chiefs will be the favorites to play in Super Bowl 55. But all I can say right now is they're both going to be great games to watch. Let's begin. First of all, who is the better quarterback, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? Well, if you really look at it all time, it's not even close. Tom Brady is the better quarterback. He's won 6 Super Bowls. He's got 3 league MVPs. He's been selected to the Pro Bowl, I believe, 16 times at least. So altogether, Tom Brady is the better quarterback. In the last few seasons, it's been kind of a toss-up. But this year especially, it's been Aaron Rodgers, who most likely will win the MVP. Aaron Rodgers, he's likely going to win his 3rd MVP. I think after it's all said and done, it still is Tom Brady just because he's got 6 Super Bowls and Aaron Rodgers only has 1. But right now, Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback, even though Tom Brady has the better weapons. In this game, what offense has the better performance? Well, if you really look at it, the Packers have the better offense despite all the weapons the Buccaneers have. By the way, the Buccaneers will not have Antonio Brown, who is out for the game. That's going to be huge because I feel like Tom Brady's been able to find a connection with Antonio Brown, which is not good news for the Buccaneers because I feel like Antonio Brown is that much of a difference. But anyways, what offense has the better performance? In my opinion, the Buccaneers have the better performance. Even though the Packers have the better offense, I feel like the Buccaneers will have a strategy. Similar to what the Patriots did, in the 2019 AFC Championship game, where they basically kept the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands and basically ran down the Chiefs' throat. And by the way, the Packers' run defense is not great. Now, it's been good the last few weeks, but altogether, their defense especially their run defense, is not great. So I think right now the Buccaneers have the better performance because they control the clock, don't turn the ball over, and they're able to run the football effectively and basically have Tom Brady have the football a lot longer than Aaron Rodgers. So my answer is the Buccaneers have the better game, or their offense does. What team commits more turnovers? Well, again, I don't think either team's going to be turning the ball over much. I could see both teams maybe turning the ball over once, but I just can't see any teams really turning the ball over. And again, both teams take care of the football very well. So, I mean, I just can't see it happening. Even though the Buccaneers defense forces a lot of turnovers, they forced 4 last week against the Saints. So it could happen, but I just don't think it's going to come to fruition. Is this going to be a high scoring game? I don't know if it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to be both teams probably score anywhere between 50 and 55 points. So I could see it like a 28-24 game or 31-24 game. But I think it's going to be kind of an average score game. And just because I think the Buccaneers have the ball a lot longer than the Packers do, and the Packers offense isn't able to click like they have been lately just because they don't have the ball as much. So I think it's going to be kind of an average score. Can the Buccaneers stop or at least contain the likely MVP Aaron Rodgers? They can't stop him. I mean, no defense can really stop Aaron, but I think they can contain him at least. I mean, the Buccaneers defense is very good. I mean, that defensive line, that linebacking core, the secondary is a little weak, but in my opinion, that Buccaneers defense has pretty much carried that Buccaneers team. So I think they can at least contain Aaron Rodgers. And again, if Tom Brady has the ball more than Aaron Rodgers, most likely the Buccaneers are going to win. But I at least think the Buccaneers are going to be able to contain Aaron Rodgers. And last but not least, who wins this game? Well, my prediction is I think the Buccaneers win. It's not a very popular opinion. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, dude, why are you going against the Packers?" Well, in my opinion, the Buccaneers, you can never bet against Tom Brady. Even though sometimes it doesn't look good, never bet on Tom Brady. That's what I've learned watching football and especially watching Tom Brady. Never bet against Tom Brady. So I think the Buccaneers win this game 31-24 and advance to the Super Bowl and be the first team ever to host their own Super Bowl. Now let's switch gears to the AFC Championship game where the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Buffalo Bills. And as you know, Patrick Mahomes is playing, so that's a huge difference. Can the Bills defense stop the Chiefs offense? Well, similar to the Buccaneers and the Packers, I think they can contain them, but they definitely can't stop them. And the Buffalo Bills defense they've said, well, this year the Bills defense isn't great. Well, they were able to contain Lamar Jackson, who is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So I think they can at least contain Patrick Mahomes. And plus, Mahomes might not be a full 100%, but even if he's playing at 80%, he's still the best quarterback in the league. But I think the Bills defense can at least contain him. That secondary is good, led by Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Pryor. I can at least see the Bills containing that explosive Chiefs offense. How well does Josh Allen play? Well, I don't think he plays great. I think the fat crowd will definitely make a difference because I think the Chiefs can have anywhere between 15 to 20,000 fans, and I think that's been a huge advantage for the Chiefs because they're the only ones that can really have that many fans. So I feel like right now Josh Allen plays good, but he doesn't play great, and that's the huge disadvantage for Buffalo. So Josh Allen played pretty solid, or actually he didn't play great against the Ravens. He passed the ball a lot. They ran the ball once in the whole first half, and then when they started to run the ball against the Ravens the second half, it somehow worked. So I think if they can establish the run, that's going to open up the passing game. But in my opinion, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm just going to expect pass all day because they don't really have a strong running game, and plus Zach Moss is still out. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, are they the next dynasty in the National Football League? I think so. I think they've already reached that status. I mean, to go to 3 straight AFC Championship games is very impressive. It's actually the first time any team has ever done that, at least in the AFC. The NFC has done it once, and by the way, that was the Eagles, who were also coached by Andy Reid. So I think Andy Reid is clearly the Hall of Famer. But yes, I think the Chiefs, if they even get to the Super Bowl, I think they've already reached that dynasty status or the next Patriots. Even though people all want, parity and balance and stuff like that, there's not going to be much because with how the Chiefs are set up, they're going to be good for a very long time. Who is the edge in this game? Well, the Chiefs are going to have the edge because they're at home. They have Patrick Mahomes, and they have a crowd, which pretty much is their 12th man. Especially with the COVID pandemic hitting, with a lot of teams not being able to have fans or very limited. With the Chiefs going to have 15 to 20,000 fans, that's amazing. And I think that's really puts their edge in the game. And of course, if you have Patrick Mahomes and you have Andy Reid dialing up the plays. However, the Bills are used to having fans because they had fans the last 2 weeks, and that Bills Mafia is very loud and definitely supports the Bills. But I do think the edge in the game is the crowd for the Chiefs, and I think that's a huge difference. And last but not least, my predictions on the game. Well, similar to the Packers and Buccaneers game, this is going to be a medium high scoring game. I originally thought the Chiefs win this game 34-24, but as I'm looking at it, I think it's going to be a little more high scoring. And of course, it's going to be cold because it's usually always cold in Kansas City, especially in the playoffs. I see the Chiefs win this one 41-31. Patrick Mahomes throws 3 touchdown passes, rushes for another. I know that's crazy to say, especially with him coming back from a concussion, but Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. He's the best quarterback in the league by far. And anytime he's playing, you give him a chance. I say the Chiefs win this game 41-31. The Chiefs and Buccaneers play in the Super Bowl. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and much more. We release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Sportstown Podcast. If you want to check out more videos of the Sportstown Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.